Special announcement, travelers. Rebuild of JoyCast is now boarding from all your favorite podcast destinations, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and more. Subscribe to us on any of these services for listening on the go, and thank you for your continued support in keeping JoyRide's engine burning.
Riddle me this, Val. So, before this show started, everyone, I had this whole bit planned out, and this is literally our fourth take, because Val keeps interrupting me.
Well, you keep interrupting me. Depends on who's talking.
You know what? That's true. You know what? Fair enough. I kept interrupting you. I'm so sorry, Val. I know you worked really hard to be obnoxious this week, and I just ruined it. So, is the Batman anime, manga, or more?
It's anime as fuck.
The Batman is anime as fuck. But is that just us being those assholes who have to relate everything to anime? Or can we actually finally make good on the third part of our tagline for this podcast and more? This is a movie. This is a very popular movie out. Not sure if you've seen it yet after Reed's notes. What, like over 300 opening weekend box office? 300 million?
Oh.
So I'm sure a lot of people saw this. The Batman. It's been a week. And I think it's now time we properly talked about it, because we want to talk about it, because we loved this. You love this, right, Val?
I have problems with some bits, but no, I thought it was a solid movie. I liked it.
Well, that's the thing. We love things, and because we love it, now we're going to be nitpicky as all hell towards it. But yeah, The Batman, directed by Matt Reeves and starring Battinson, or I like to call him the Patman. That's how I like to go. But Robert Pattinson, this whole movie just slaps. This is awesome. This is the first Batman film since probably the original Tim Burton ones that really commit to everything. To every little gross, grimy nook and cranny, the serious and the silly. There have been a lot of criticisms that this movie was not funny enough. It wasn't lighthearted enough. I'm like, wow, like, we've really drank the MCU poison, haven't we?
Even my friends were actually saying they were really happy to be watching a superhero film or a comic book film that didn't have that Marvel formula or that theming and everything.
Yeah, emphasis on the formula, because I do enjoy Marvel films when there's actual effort put in them, i.e., No Way Home, Spider-Man.
Yeah, I hear. I didn't actually watch that.
The Eternals, which was just like a throw-in. Like, I mean, the Eternals is the worst. I'm also very much tired of even the middling ones, like Black Widow. And as much as I enjoyed half of Shang-Chi, the other half I did not. Because, like, again, it's a formula. It's getting so repetitive. It feels so cheap in comparison when you look at something like The Batman, where DC Warner finally got the producers out of the writing room and said, just make the movies. The Batman, it's called The Batman. It has Batman in it. It will sell. Now go make a movie. And it just feels so good when a movie is just a movie. The MCU feels like content, in quotes now. Whereas here we have a film. It's very self-contained. It's very well polished. There's real set design. They're not just walking on a bunch of green screens. Like, which is hilarious because those rooftops, Gordon and Batman's little secret meeting place, you know? Yeah. That dilapidated building that they always hang out in. That's an LCD screen. It's not a green screen.
Oh.
So they built a physical set that they stand on, a building set. And then that cityscape they're looking at is a giant LCD screen that's kind of like boxed away.
That's kind of crazy. That's like some
it's really clever.
No. That's like some Hollow Room shit.
It's a panorama kind of thing is what they got going on. I really like that. I really appreciate it because they couldn't do it because we're filming during a pandemic. And even those city shots, I mean, between that and a green screen, give me that panorama every freaking day. I love it.
I might be wrong, but I believe the car chase, some of it at least, was filmed in Glasgow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They definitely still did some on-scene shots. I mean, there was a lot of the UK I recognized. And I thought it was perfect. It was really sick. That corner, where then they were clearly CG. They then added all the screens. I love it. It's very earthy. It's very textured. I like that. This is my favorite Gotham in probably all media, I think.
It's definitely got the down and dirty vibe of Gotham, more than I think some movies did. It's
got the old elements. It's got the new. It's definitely a modern day city, but it's still very gothic. So they say that they give the same basic influences every time in terms of the comics. They go Year One and Long Halloween. Though I will admit, this is definitely heavily based on Long Halloween in terms of the comics. But that said, there's a lot of Gotham by Gaslight vibes too.
Go on.
Well, again, because they use the UK as a setting. There's a lot of old elements. I don't know. If something about the suit. The collar.
It's my favorite suit so
and
far.
The leathery mask.
I really like the suit.
It feels like that very steampunky Gaslight Batman.
Interesting thought, for sure.
I love that suit, by the way.
No, it's really good. I think the more exposed neck and jaw was a really good touch for it. Because Pattinson's jawline is just perfect for it, honestly. Like, when you had those profile shots of him, I was like, oh, damn, he looks so good.
For this Batman, he looks like an actual human being. Like, I hate to do this. I don't want to be that guy because I'm going to start a freaking team battle.
Go on.
And that's what I not want to do because I love them both. I love them both. I really do. But it's time. We've reached the point where Marvel has become the institution that we now much rail against. And now DC's that scrappy little underdog. So now I have to vie for it. Pattinson actually looks like a fucking human being. He's pale and gothic, which is the homework assignment. Looks great. But he doesn't look like a dehydrated living muscle. He just looks like a goth dude that goes to the gym 4 days a week. He looks actually human. And he is built for this. He is built for this Batman. The suit does all the heavy lifting.
It does.
When he first shows up, he looks like a fucking gargoyle. It's all grayscaled. It's heavy. By the way, people are like, oh man, what are the Oscar chances, the Academy Award chances for this film? I don't know, but they better give it best sound design. The sound design is immaculate in this film.
I did like, the only sound design I guess I really can think of is stuff like when they're using the technology, which I really like the technology, to be honest. That they had the weird eye
I do
things.
too. I wish there was more of it.
I like the rawness of the Batmobile. It's just a freaking bulky-ass car with a jet engine.
No, it is a gutted skeleton car with a rocket engine taped to it.
Cool as fuck.
I love it. I still think I like the Bat Tumbler better.
Bat Tumbler.
From The Dark Knight.
Oh, yeah.
I love that Tumbler. I like the small practical shots that Nolan did in Batman Begins, where that thing is just jumping from rooftop to rooftop and carving up the freaking the plates. Oh, I love the way that thing jumps. That thing's a character. That being said, the Batman's Batmobile is raw.
I was thinking also, it's definitely the best Batmobile.
I hate. Okay, you said specifically the Arkham Knight Batmobile.
Yeah, no, I like the one from the game. Admittedly, I thought it was cool.
I hate it. I hate it. Anyway, those are during the golden age of the JoyRide streams.
Yeah,
I play that on stream, and if people recall, those are my oldest deep cut fans.
Oh damn!
Recall what happened when the Batmobile exploded in that game. I was cheering. They force you into that Batmobile so fucking much, it's annoying. You get sick and tired of it.
I guess
you're more of a bat tank than Batman in Arkham Knight.
No, for sure. But I guess I love it more because I think about zipping around the city and blowing crap up. Weirdly,
I get it.
With a strange non-lethal mounted turret.
I'm being too harsh. It's one of the most satisfying cars to play with. The problem is that there's too much of it. There's too much tank battles versus actual driving.
90s Batman cartoon Batmobile though.
Again, sick, but I don't know, if I'm ranking them, I'm going Tumbler first, and then I'm going, but very close second, the Batman's Batmobile.
Okay.
Because it's just so raw. It's barely holding itself together. It's barely a car. I love it.
No, it's really badass, but Carrying on about the sound design, please. I want to... These aren't things that I walk away and I think that much about. I think more about the story, I guess.
Like I said,
obviously you do as well. I just don't think about like that many things on it.
Yeah, but just the rain, the sewer, the walking through the puddles, his footsteps.
Oh,
when he walks, boof, boof. There's no way, like, it's just no. Having worked on sets of films,
he's heavy as shit. You can hear it in his walk. Yeah, it's fucking cool.
It's not, and that's not real. If you were on set, it sounds like some squishing, some squeaking of the rubber. It's not that intimidating. That thing is made of freaking just like light ass rubber.
Oh no, definitely. I'm just talking about how it makes you feel.
It's pitiful. But yeah, exactly. But that's the sound design. The sound design. It feels like he feels big, even though he has shirtless scenes, like I just said, where he just looks like a normal goth guy that goes to the gym 4 days a week. But when he's in that suit, boof, boof, when he walks, and they do that a lot, it is iconic. That sound design is iconic, man. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it.
How did you feel? Like, we've already said sets, like, and one of the best sets was definitely, like, outside the Iceberg Lounge.
The Iceberg Lounge, yes! It's underneath that bridge. It had a good bit. I like the bit with the twins, where it's like, oh, you're Batman. Versus when he's Bruce Wayne and he gets treated differently. I like that, where he's treated more like a criminal. That was a great bit. But yeah, the Iceberg Lounge, in terms of, as far as nightclubs go, in these kinds of films, yeah, the Iceberg Lounge is kind of sick. It feels like a gutted old train station, right?
No,
or a factory warehouse.
Honestly, it was really surreal to have Batman just walk into the club and everyone's dancing and waving shit around, and then he's just beating on dudes.
And that's what I love about this Batman. He's young, but he's just enough there where they accept him. Batman is an accepted part of Gotham lifestyle. I like the fact that he walks onto police scenes and they all turn to Gordon like, is he supposed to be here? Is it okay? I mean, nothing feels better than fucking 20 policemen. Nothing feels better than 20... Again, you want to know how this feels like a movie? The fact that 20 policemen turn to a black man for help. He walks in and they all shit themselves. And Gordon, played by Jeffrey Wright. I never followed this film, Val, because I am so burnt out on superhero films. I went into this blind. I saw like one initial trailer and then I never saw another thing. I didn't know Jeffrey Wright was James Gordon, and that was sick. Jeffrey Wright doing his Jeffrey Wright thing. He's like, don't worry, the Bat's with me. He's cool. Keep your cool, Bat. I love him. He's the best Gordon. That is the best Gordon ever. Bar none. Best Gordon. It's so good. They finally fixed Batman in this film. He's sick. He is sick. He's running through the police station, and you just see this fucking swarm of cops, like fucking World War Z. Like they're like a fluid. They're like a liquid surging through the hallways. It's sick. In the room when they're all in the interrogation, and they're all in there with him, and they're all yelling at his ass. They're all like ganged up, and they're like, I got you on assault for 2 police officers. Batman's like, about to be 3, bitch. I love this. Because people are like, he works with the cops. And I'm like, no, the police work for him. It's good. They do, like, they all just barely tolerate each other. I love it.
No, yeah, that is good, but it's the fact that that's exactly it. The police, midway through, suddenly, I understand that, like, everyone I've spoke about this to so far is, like, bigger fish to fry, Val. I'm like, no, what this needed, with its already 3-hour-long length, which is really long. I will say, lengthwise, I kind of wished it was shortened down in some places, or at least replace some scenes with something more interesting.
I love this film. I want to rewatch it so badly, but I cannot commit to 3 hours. I think this, when a film is, I always talk about how 1 hour and 40 is the perfect runtime.
How long was Justice League?
4 hours, if you're talking about the Snyder Cut.
I thought so.
A
I was about to say, is it as long as I didn't bother watching Justice League.
Good, you shouldn't. It's fucking awful.
Well, now I'm gonna watch it.
It's awful.
Because now I'm interested to see why it's awful.
It's just boring. The original is hacked the fuck. That's the producers butting in too much, and basically that's Joss Whedon trying to correct something that's unfixable.
Yeah.
And also Joss Whedon at his worst.
Didn't he lose his wife during filming?
No, Zack Snyder lost a kid during filming. That's why he left the set, because he had to go deal with that. Poor fucking guy.
Wait. I was talking about the Snyder Cut. I meant, should I watch the Justice League Snyder Cut?
No, because it's boring. It's 4 hours. So the Snyder Cut is an improvement, but that's like, basically, if the Justice League is a pile of trash, the Justice League Snyder Cut is a really big trash bag with Febreze scent. The trash bag is too big for the piece of trash. As in, like, you didn't have to do this. Like, there's a smaller trash bag would have sufficed, if at all. Like, the trash was already in the dump. We didn't have to do this. It was just so unnecessary. But yeah, it's so diluted.
I see. Watch it to make my own take. I got you.
Yeah, but going back, so the police, our criticism with the police scene, it's the fact that he pops off on those police. He's hidden police officers. They're chasing him. He has to escape the police office. Suddenly, him and Gordon keep doing their thing, and then suddenly, him and the police are just back to where they were, tolerating each other.
I feel like the next time they actually see him, like, police other than Gordon is outside the club arresting Falco.
Yes.
But it felt like some of them should be like, there's the fucking bat. But I feel like I wouldn't be surprised there is a scene that has been cut out where Gordon has to remind and make the police face their own corruption. Hey, this is why the Bat's good in his way, because no one knows who he is. He's not corruptible. He's a free agent.
I think so too. And that gets to some of my I have two major criticisms of this film. All right, two scenes. Ironically, because before I saw this, Ben Shapiro put out a tweet where he absolutely hates this film, and literally everyone goes, I know the scene he didn't like. And I went and I watched it and I go, I know the scene he didn't like either. It's the first of the two scenes I do not like. And he is definitely correct to not like it, but wrong in his own stupid Ben Shapiro way. But here I'm going to say why this scene sucks. So, because I can correct it very easily. So it's the scene where Batman, again, this is a Batman film that wants to fix people's criticisms of Batman as a character. He's a rich billionaire who's beating up mentally ill people. And that is definitely a problem. And this film addresses it. And I love this. That being said, this film is so smart and so visual. And then they do this scene where I feel like if there was ever any production notes, this is where it went. Where it's so smart, and suddenly they had to dumb it down. There's these two scenes, and the first I'm talking about, this is Batman wanting to have its cake and eat it too. They wanted to appeal to both sides of the aisle, and they shouldn't have. Because they did it in such a dumb way. The first is the scene where, again, they're at that meeting place, and basically, Catwoman starts lecturing him. There's a great scene where Batman's confused as to why Bruce Wayne would be a target of the Riddler. And it's fucking hilarious. I actually like this. It's one of the good silly elements of this film, where Pattinson looks fucking confused. Like old dog-eyed confused. And that's funny, but then Catwoman proceeds to talk about the fact that the Riddler's going after, in actual literal quotations, the old rich white elite and cops. And I was like, oh my gosh, Reeves, this is such a visual scene. When she was explaining to him, she didn't even have to explain. It's literally a visual film. She is a black Catwoman. Her line should have been, do I really have to explain it to you? Focus the camera on Catwoman. She is black. Do I really have to explain, Batman, why the Riddler's after Bruce Wayne? That's it.
I think that'd be terrible.
But the actual line is even fucking worse, where she is so freaking literal. All the nuance, all the subtext is gone. There's nothing. There is little left to imagination in a film that is highly imaginative. That scene sucks, and of course Ben Shapiro fucking hated it. For the wrong reasons. But for good reasons, that could have been better. The second scene that sucks is where Gordon, again, in literal terms says, not all cops. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Again, in this scene, they showed the visual element. He walks outside because Falcone goes, oh, you work for me. And he goes, not all cops work for you. Literally, as they look and you see all these cops pointing guns at him. We see this, Gordon. You don't have to fucking say it. So, like, the Batman was trying to appease both sides of the argument. And it did. Because, okay, so I watched this with a packed house, Val. Not a single breath, not a single hoot or holler or obnoxious talking audience member. Every dumb motherfucker in this audience was enraptured. You don't have to say these things in literal terms. They already get it. If they're not fucking talking over it. And I don't like how such a smart film gets really dumb in these two awkward instances.
That just sounds like a British audience. I don't get that unless I go to see, like, anime on special occasions at the cinema, honestly.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, American audiences are just fucking obnoxious. They've had their phones out, they're fucking talking. Like, what the fuck are you here?
Maybe I'm just lucky on the days I go, because I don't usually go to see, like, movies on, like, actually, the one time I did, it was Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows Part 2, back in, like, 2011 with my mate. And, that was actually a super respectful audience.
Yeah, I don't mind opening nights when, like, again, a Marvel film. Here's when a Marvel film's great. When it's opening night and people are fucking cheering, that's fine, alright? I am talking about people who clearly don't even give a fuck about the movie.
I'm gonna be honest, I think that is because of the way Marvel films are made, because Marvel films, if you notice it as they went on, because I've seen newer Marvel films, it's like after every funny moment, after every dramatic moment, there is always a good amount of pause as if they're waiting for people to be done laughing, because they know when they're gonna get
Because it's a formula. Because it's so, and again, they know when they're gonna get to. I know when they're gonna come get us.
That's why I think that is fun. That's why I think you think it's fun, because like they are going to accommodate you for it, because
they're accommodating opening night for it, yes, but
yeah.
I don't like that built in the films. I wish the films could be smart. I'm glad for opening night, but I don't go to opening night anymore. So now I want to sit and watch a fucking film. And these Marvel things aren't even films anymore. They're just content. I would like now seeing the Batman, I wish Marvel films would, if they just want to do content so badly, that's what Disney Plus is for, baby. Throw it all there. Give me one Marvel film a year that really takes its ass fucking seriously. Give me a Captain America Civil War so badly. If you got to make these things cross over so fucking badly, give me one Civil War and or Avengers film a year, and then one other solo effort, and then call it a day. I don't need fucking 5 films and 5 TV series. Fuck off. Because they're all the same now. They're all equally boring.
Speaking of that, no, this new Batman, it isn't related to Joker, is it?
I hope not. So that's the thing. People were talking about, because we said we waited a week to have this podcast. There really aren't any spoilers besides the mystery, which I love. I love that that's the only true spoiler. Otherwise, there is one, I guess, spoiler in the way that Marvel trains you for spoilers. Yeah, Joker's there at the end. And that's probably my third least favorite moment of this film.
I think a lot of people
Get that
agree with
fucking Joker out of here. I don't want the Joker again. They talk about how there's so many fucking Spider-Men in the past 10 years. There's been more Jokers.
I was explaining this to my friend, like, they didn't need to show the Joker at the end, or near the end, because, like, yeah. But he was established at the very beginning. If there are people walking around with Joker face paint, then you can say that it's established.
Yes, and that's enough. I don't need the physical Joker. I would love the Joker to just be this boogeyman figure that we never really get to see. We see the Joker face thugs. We see a bunch of graffiti that teases to the Joker. That's it. I want him to be this looming presence that just kind of radicalizes the other villains to be as extreme as he is, but I never want to actually see it. I don't want a Joker dedicated film. I don't want that in these films, because this is obviously going to be a trilogy now. I don't want it.
It's one of those things that will be demand. It's like Venom in Spider-Man 3. I'm sure you know that Sam Raimi didn't want to do a Venom.
Right? Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah. I know the story. I know it was ham-fisted in.
That's pretty famous.
And that's what's going to happen
yeah.
here. Please don't. Give us Mr. Freeze, all right? Film 2. They flooded. It's so perfectly set up for this. They flooded Gotham. Now let it freeze over like hell, like Dante's hell.
No, that
Let's
would be good.
Do it. Give me freaking Bryan Cranston.
If they actually
Freeze.
continue it, you are right, if they actually continue it from where it left off, and like Mr. Freeze suddenly hits the scene, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna take advantage of the flooded district of Gotham, and that's my new fucking Fortress of Solitude, bitch.
It'd be so sick.
But that'd be a different kind of movie. Mr. Freeze is such a powerful dude. He's not like, sneaky.
He's definitely
I'm
the
sure
most
you and I can
out
agree.
there.
Yeah, I'm sure you and I can agree. It was cool to watch Batman, like, investigate shit.
Yes.
Like, actually go around and, like, we know your feelings, but, like, working with the police and everything, that was cool.
Oh, it was, no, I really love this Detective Batman. That being said, was he really detecting shit? Not really. I like how Bruce is, like, this Harvard-educated motherfucker, but he doesn't know, like, this is something you mentioned. Tell me, Val, about the fact that he didn't know anything about carpentry. I thought that was fucking hilarious, too.
No, I thought it was great. He's smart, and he knows all forensics and martial arts and everything like that. Everything that he thinks he needs to know, but he doesn't know what a freaking Tucker is.
Yeah.
And it's like, he's just like, oh, it's whatever he used for a murder weapon. I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is important. The guy's like, oh, it's a carpet tucker.
Which leads to also a great scene with the Penguin, played by Colin Farrell.
Oh, he was really
Bullseye walked so Cobblepot could fucking waddle, man. Holy shit. He was incredible. But again, why the fuck did they let him walk away after fucking leveling the highway?
That's the other thing that bothered me. He didn't even beat him up, and my friend was like, well, him and Gordon were working with the police. And they're like, bullshit, Gordon was working with the police. He freaking told him to punch him so he wouldn't, like, be an accessory to your escape, specifically. He covered his black ass.
But that being said, I think the point was the fact that why bother? They're just gonna be released out of jail anyways. Like they're but Gordon and Batman are so fucking tired of the corrupt system. They're like, fuck it. You'll be more subdued if we just leave you here tied in the middle of the street. You'll spend more time here than in jail if we just take you in. I think that was the point.
That probably was, but I wish they explained that at least. Because people fucking died in that car crash.
True. That car scene was fucking sick.
I found the editing a little bit boring for a lot of it.
Yes.
Until it got to the really, the big part of it. Like going up the ramp mid-explosion.
That was sick, but I'm still very disappointed because they linger on. They show him, he's on the left side, on the right, and you see the flames behind him. He's like, I got you, you freaking psycho. And then they cut and then go to the jump. I wish they had done the jump there. I'm assuming they fucked up the shot or it didn't look good enough, which is a shame. It would have been so much cooler if that was an uninterrupted shot.
Yes, I know what you mean. Where he's about to go up the ramp, and then suddenly it cuts to Joker, and he's like... And
no, it's the scene where they cut to him, and he goes, you freaking psycho, and you see the flames behind him. I wish the car jump had happened there, because they do another cut, and then do the jump. And it's like, damn.
I agree with that,
That would have been so cool. But such a sick scene, though. But I do, before we forget, I do want to mention about the Joker.
Oh, go on.
Before I forget him like a bad dream. He's played by Barry Keoghan.
And who is that?
So you won't know him, but JoyRide fans, anyone who comes to our movie nights, which is available for $1 tier on Patreon, Saturday nights, we always watch movies together with our audience. One of our favorites is Killing of a Sacred Deer. And Barry was a kid when he was in that one. And he plays this freaking psycho kid who puts a curse on his family and stuff. It's a really good film. But there's this really silly scene where he's eating dinner with them, and he's eating spaghetti. He goes, yeah, he's like, people say I eat spaghetti just like my father. Yeah, he sure eats spaghetti like his father. And so we always refer to, anytime Barry shows up in a movie, we call him Spaghetti Boy, and any character, he's the spaghetti version of that character. He's in Marvel's The Eternals, and we don't know what the character's name is, we just call him Spaghetti Man. Whereas now, he showed up in here, now I can only refer to him as Spaghetti Joker.
Okay.
He's such a weird, buttery-faced dude. He's a great actor. It's very difficult to take him seriously.
What's his name again? Barry
Keoghan. He's a really good actor. I mean, he was in freaking Dunkirk. He's in he was in Eternals. He's the Batman here. But he's very new on the scene. He's very young.
I'm sorry, there was another actor. I seem to have spelt his name.
Oh, American Animals. I loved him in that.
I'm looking at, Barry Keoghan, born September 12th, 1922.
Wrong one, bro. There's another one.
Oh, it's spelt with an E-O.
Yeah.
Keoghan, okay.
Probably not even pronouncing it correct, so.
Maybe.
Definitely. But yeah, that's another reason why he's a great actor, and I respect what he's doing, but I'd rather he just be a shadow figure. He's hanging out in Arkham. He's given the villains ideas, and he sends them back out. And now the Riddler's got a little bit more pomp and circumstance, a little more theatricality now. That's what I hope that Joker is. I hope that's the extent to what that Joker is. Because
how did you feel about the Riddler?
How did I feel about the Riddler? I thought he's pretty sick. I think Paul Dano went hard. I think he was great. For a very grounded Riddler, I thought he was awesome. He's got this little Aspergian, little autistic twinge to him that is played in a way that's very unsettling. I like the way he connects to Bruce. I like the foil here, as well as, again, the differences he presents. He goes, we're both orphans, but you're not the same kind of orphan. There's a difference, Bruce. There's a difference. You still had money, bro. Orphans in this town starved to death and died in the winter. You had your nice warm mansion. Don't pretend that you suffered by being an orphan. There's a difference. And I like that this film is about Batman really defining himself. What it took fucking how many films for Tom Holland's Spider-Man? Like 4 or 5 crossover films to finally settle him in as Spider-Man? This is one film where Batman gets to figure himself out and define him as a very different Batman from all the ones we've seen in films. This is a Batman that's going to be, and it definitely presents situations where he is a hero. It takes time. He's definitely a freaking hard-ass anti-hero to start. But in the end, when this choice presents, he goes, am I a Riddler or am I the motherfucking Batman? The Batman has to save people. He can't just keep beating the fuck out of people and being vengeful. It can't just be about vengeance. He's privileged. You don't get the luxury of pure vengeance. That's not fair, and you know better. I like this. I really like this Batman, and I can't wait to see where he goes from here.
Well, see, that's actually like the entire point of what I feel about the film, in that, because I like the film, I like the parallels to Batman and his villains, because I think I said on Twitter earlier, as you took a glance through it, Riddler obviously poses the most complicated and like biggest threat that Batman's actually had to go about, because for the most part, he's probably just been running around and beating dudes up. Like a lot. And he's still
at this point, his focus has been instilling fear. That's it. That's all he's been doing is making himself a spectacle. And now the villains are learning and going, oh, we can do that too. And now it's a problem. I like that.
Yeah, it definitely establishes how Batman actually inspires his rogues gallery.
Yes.
But it also makes it sound like he should just straight up stop doing it as well. But we know he won't, because we need Batman. And the studio needs Batman to win.
But that's why he starts saving people. That's the part of Batman we need. We need a guy who's using his resources to help. Fear, he's done it. Congrats, Batman. You have scared this shitless. You've accomplished that. But now you gotta do more. That scene with the mayor where he goes, you could be doing more for the city, Bruce. And I like that. I like that where it's like that subtext of, I mean, she doesn't know she's talking to Batman, but she's talking to Batman. There's more you could be doing. And that's the reason why Batman can't go away now. Because that more he offers, that's what they need.
I thought the side characters were actually very strong in this film, to be honest.
Me too. Again, the best
except for Alfred.
Yeah, Alfred's the weak link. Alfred, and it's not his fault. He's just not there enough.
He's not there at all. He has like 3 scenes.
Yeah, 3 scenes. It's stuff we haven't seen before.
It was cool watching him help. That's what made me be like, oh, this is actually a cool Alfred. He's like cross-referencing shit on the key.
I like that. He's a hard-ass Alfred. This has gotten very popularized. Did you ever watch the animated series Beware the Batman?
I did. I thought it looked ugly as hell and never looked back.
It was ugly as sin, but that show was sick.
But I do remember very cockney, bold, odd Alfred.
He was a hard-ass Alfred, but that series was awesome.
Now say it right. Say it right. Say
he's odd. Mate, he's odd.
He's odd, mate. Go on, though. Yeah, I remember that Alfred, though. He was super big and, like really tough.
Yeah, but I think that series deserved more. It was great. It was a companion piece to that Green Lantern series that was also really good.
Yes, it was. I did hear good things about the Green Lantern thing. I think they made a mistake of making their first villains freaking pig.
I think it was great. You never see enough of them. I like that they dared to do something different. Like the Batman. Remember the Warner Brothers, the Batman?
Yeah.
The WB animation, the Batman?
Batman. It was always like have that sting in the end.
Yeah,
right?
but the second OP where they embraced more of the Adam West elements, where it was kind of a perfect marriage between the new gritty Batman and the old '60s Batman. Fucking love that. That series was sick.
I would agree with that. He was like charming and funny and everything, but not Batman, but I mean Bruce Wayne.
A black Joker, by the way, fucking sick.
Oh yeah, no, the principal from American Dad being Joker is awesome.
For me, it was Antari from Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go.
Oh my god, he is, isn't he?
Yeah, I love that actor.
I actually like Catwoman in this a lot.
Catwoman's sick. Best Catwoman. Sorry, Michelle Pfeiffer, you're iconic. But this is a lot of, in a series that's really self-actualizing a lot of characters.
Oh, you can't beat Michelle Pfeiffer. I didn't say she.
You
beats
didn't?
Michelle
I think
Pfeiffer.
she does. I like the more practical Catwoman. I like the Catwoman that's got her own shtick. She helps her kind, and as she deserves to, because Batman at this point sure as fuck isn't doing it. So I like that. I wish she didn't leave, though. I do like the scene. I do like the parting. I do think it was beautiful.
I hated the parting. I thought it was the most weirdly shot thing for the film.
Here's the thing. It was silly. You're not wrong. It was silly, but I liked it. That being said, I feel like this Gotham still has a place for Catwoman. Even despite the fact that she went rogue, and now she's a problem, I do believe I do believe there was still room for a Catwoman here. And that's kind of disappointing.
So I say I like Catwoman. Initially, I didn't like her. And maybe because I'm a brutal little bitch, but when I'm like, this man's trying to work, fucking help him. He will make your life easier by doing so. Maybe. But it's upon introspection and really thinking about it, I don't blame Catwoman for any of the actions that she takes. She's been living with her, father, who will not help her, and yet seems to strangely want to be a part of her life in some weird way.
It's very complicated. Like I said, you said you like all the decisions she makes, as extreme as they are all justified. Again, just
I
take
don't know
some
justified.
Go from her perspective.
I think they're understanding.
No,
okay,
they keep trying to use her as a tool. No one's actually trying to help Batwoman. She's a
Catwoman.
She is a tool to solve a greater crime. And she's like, bitch, I can only help so much and you gotta help me. I've got some vested interest here. And I like how her interests ultimately do connect to the final mystery. The fact that Falcone is the fucking narc. He's the rat with wings.
Yeah. No, that was good. I like that.
I thought it was great.
It was just it was upon introspection when I thought about it, and I was like, wait a minute. So she's been living seeing this guy every single day, never helped her, killed her mother as she finds out in just before the finale and everything. And she has a dead friend who I thought she was in a relationship because she kept saying baby, obviously.
She was.
But then she was like, no, but then she's like, wait, no, she's a kid. And it's like, wait, she's a kid and you fuck her? What? I was really confused. Like, which is she? Is she a kid or is she your lover?
It's weird. I definitely agree. There's definitely some back and forth. And I think that's them trying to appease both sides of the aisle. It's like, stop. Commit. They already bought the ticket. Commit.
Yeah, I was like, oh, she's a kid. Which way? I was confused because they never really.
But no, to me, it seemed like very clearly she did have affection for her. She was bisexual. She's definitely bi. That is a bi Catwoman. Again, that's why I like that Catwoman over Michelle Pfeiffer. I like the bi representation. Before all the comments on Twitter about the fact that Michelle Pfeiffer's bi too, I'm like, I don't know. Seemed very catered to the straights.
I don't know. Whoa. lesbians can like a skin-tight, stitched-up catsuit,
I get,
too.
no, she can like, but in terms of who she's actually helping.
Oh, I don't know, I guess. I don't think about it like that.
No, but
anyway,
no, you're right, Val. It's all extremes. It's for the straights and the lesbians, but no no in between. Whereas this Catwoman, Zoe Kravitz Catwoman, is for the bis. We claim her.
she's super sexy, I'll say that.
She was
like,
cool.
damn,
I liked
she
her
was-
mask. I like how she just had a burglar mask with
Yeah.
little cat ears on it.
Yeah, everyone said it was like, oh, it's lame that she has a shit mask. It's like, no, it makes sense that she has a shit mask. She isn't
She's not a billionaire like
gimp
Bruce.
Suit. She has a gimp suit or some shit, or no, it's like a
She
motorcycle.
got a leather motorcycle jacket with a freaking.
It's a one-piece motorcycle jacket. Yeah. I don't know why I was there like, no, that's Dom gear, because I like look in the background and I see all the whips and shit, and I'm like, is it just a Dom? Did she just stitch it in? I don't know. Point is, she's at her breaking point, so it makes sense when at the very end, and this is the best save in the movie, when Batman obviously, because he's been hearing her story the entire time, when at first he's like, I don't give a shit about your problems. I've got a city to save and some maniac to beat the living shit out of. And she's like, well, this is my story. He feels sympathy, and he's like thinking on it for the movie, along with his own situation and how he's feeling sorry for himself. Like, fuck, man, I should help her. So not only does he save her from Falcone, almost got his name wrong, but saving her from her own bad decision, which they were talking about the bad decisions that her friend made. So he saved her from her own bad decision.
Yeah, again, this is a Batman that fucking saves people.
It's also a Batman that finds compromise with his own morals and other people's morals.
And again, in the current world that we are living in, where we are getting very hypercritical about the placing of superheroes, this is also the reason why. Now, let me issue a compliment to Spider-Man No Way Home, where he gently tries to save his villains. And that's the reason why. There's a reason why Batman and Spider-Man are fucking destroying the box office right now. There's a reason why we love these fuckers so fucking much. It's because they save their villains. They're not fucking... People criticize Batman for beating up a bunch of fucking mental health patients. No, when Batman puts his mind in with the right writers, Batman saves people. Animated series always got that right. Live action, I don't think ever got it right until now. And that's why I feel like that's why Mr. Freeze, as much as an extreme step up as that's going to be, I feel like if we're going to continue this Batman that tries to save people, Victor Freeze is the way to fucking go. That's a tough guy to save.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's a challenge. Let's go.
I think that'd be a very... I said earlier, that'd be a very different movie. If I had to make a very short summary of what it would be Batman investigating a series of robberies at, like, high-tech facilities and whatnot.
Yes.
Very specific things.
Again, what's the point of Bruce Wayne? What's the point of this super rich Batman? He got connections. So we get these high-profile Silicon Valley motherfuckers, Gotham, being killed now. And we get these heists and this stolen technology that's gonna be a big problem. And who's doing it? It's Victor Freeze. And this ain't the Riddler. Finding him isn't the solution. You gotta fight him, dude.
No, and he's got this, like, crappy, raw, like, suit and everything that he's
I
using.
hope he's got a freaking scuba helmet, man. It should be this shitty freaking steampunk costume. He should look like a fucking tank. It should look impractical as fuck.
They should take some inspiration off, Black Manta.
No, I don't want that sleek shit. I want this thing to look like a mess. I want pipes.
No, not sleek. I'm just saying I like Black Manta's outfit and everything in the I didn't even watch Aquaman. I just thought the Black Manta suit in the dark and everything looks really cool.
I thought it was goofy as shit, but that's why I liked it, because that's a goofy film.
No, it's cool.
So I thought it was there. I want a glass fish bowl helmet for my Mr. Freeze. That's what I want.
With big old red goggles is like a thing. Gotta have big old red goggles.
But yeah, just like I want a freaking life support machine strapped to his freaking back, like just freaking Immortan Joe bullshit. Let's go. Just something bigger to beat on that isn't Bane, you know?
If that was a thing, then I wouldn't mind if it was something like he gets captured in the prison near like the beginning or something, but then like he sets off something that he's been like readying over weeks and like getting sent to him slowly to like make some kind of ice bomb in the prison and turn the prison into like this big ice palace that Batman's got to fight.
That would be pretty sick.
But that seems a bit too comic-y.
Well, this film embraced it. Like I said, people talk about, like, the marketing tried to say it was, like, really grounded. It wasn't. This was the most comic book.
It was pretty grounded.
This was
the
pretty
most grounded
silly.
scene.
This was some silly shit, Val, and I like it.
No, there was shenanigans. Like, you could totally put the Adam West, Batman!
Yeah.
But you could totally put that in the police station when he's, like, running along and everything from the police and stuff, and it would probably
No,
fit.
if you want grounded, that's Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan always had, and that's the difference. That's what I want to say, because there's been this stupid debate about which is better. Shut the fuck up. The Dark Knight is incredible. Stop this recency bias, everyone. I think The Dark Knight is a better film. It's more impactful, it's tighter, it's good. That being said, if we're talking about Batman, it's Bush-era Batman. It's, again, this is the Batman that we were criticizing before the Batman came out, where we have this rich, this guy's literally like commandeering military tech. That Bat Tumbler's literally a tank. His suit is literally a super soldier suit. He is Bush Batman, all right? But that being said, that is what we were willing to accept at the times. And Nolan continually has to like justify his presence, all the Batman elements. And it's like, it's good, but it's not a full embracing of what makes Batman Batman. And the Batman, the difference between the Batman embraces everything about Batman. The good, the bad, the silly, the serious, everything. It's so good. It's the Batman is the best Batman film because it's 110% Batman. Whereas The Dark Knight, I mean, if you took off the bat suit, you could still get away with most of that shit.
I do feel like this Batman film handled all of the characters' issues and challenges well that you expect from, like, you know, a good Batman film. Interpersonal relationships, it's very obvious he's struggling with Alfred, or Alfred is struggling with him.
Both.
Since he has become the animal the nocturnal animal, essentially. Yeah. There's the romantic tension, I guess, with Catwoman, which I felt a lot of the time was mainly Catwoman just trying to, like, get him to do things that she wanted.
Yes. Because
really.
she has to survive.
And only at the very end does she really think, no, I've got to help him too, actually.
Yeah, again, she goes through an arc too. And that's why I think that's why I think this Gotham still has a place for Catwoman. I think they both operate very well. I've never been a fan of the Batman Catwoman relationship until this film. We're like, okay, I can really see how these two definitely can work together. They both do very different niches that together are very effective in the same way that Gordon has his own niche.
Yeah, that was another thing. I liked Gordon and Batman, like, talking to each other. It was mostly like one-sided conversations. I love
them. That was my favorite pair in the fucking movie.
Yeah, no, I liked it. It was nice seeing these one-sided conversations from Gordon a lot of the time, and Batman's only, like, sparsely responding to him.
Gordon's usually such a fucking nerd that gets upstaged by Batman. Here,
what's the thing? He's still, he is a nerd here as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's still a nerd, but he's a cool nerd. This is a Gordon that I think could beat the shit out of Batman. I'm being serious.
Oh, hell no. Dude, the man gets left in the dust still. He'll still have that moment where he's like, where'd you go? Oh.
Not as much, though.
It's good because it makes him he is serious when he is a person of authority with the police, where he commands respect and everything. He is large and in charge where Batman isn't. And Batman is larger in charge where Gordon isn't. And I think that's a really good, even relationship
Yes! Val, you've hit it right on the nail.
Yeah, because Batman is never outshone in any way. Oh, no, actually, no, that's not true. No, as I said before, he's unaware of things, but you don't hold it against him that he doesn't know what a fucking carpet tucker is.
Again, because this is a Batman that is open to criticism. That's what I like. Exactly. He's not infallible. And I like that this is what they choose Batman's weaknesses to be. It's like, Batman's weakness in this film isn't that he cares too much. That's fucking stupid. I like the fact that he's a fucking dumbass, that he's insulated, he's sheltered. This is a sheltered Batman that needs to fucking wise up. That's great.
Yeah, no, he actually does. And like you say, at the end of the film, he's like, I need to be more. And that's where it gives you the idea that by the next film, and I'm hoping with each film that comes out of this is like the most excited I've been for like potential Batman franchise and everything, admittedly. but I want him to generally go through phases in each film until he, like, as you said, like Tom Holland, get a few films to land on who he wants to be.
Yes, like by the time we get to like the third film, the end of the third film, he starts looking like the Arkham Asylum games Batman, you know, like where he's got the tech on lock, it's all streamlined, the Batmobile is complete. That's how I want to mark the progress of this Batman. I want to see the suit get more streamlined. I want to see the Batmobile get more complete.
I would like Pattinson, I want him to, as the films go, put on that, like, you know, bodybuilder, like, look and everything, that brawler kind of body.
No, I know. As a brawler myself, Val, that's the most fighter-accurate Batman I've ever seen.
But it'd be cool
He
if he
actually
could, like,
looks...
get that bulk.
That physique, that's a physique that actually fights. That
yeah,
shit
for
you
sure.
see in Marvel, that is a dehydrated husk. That's meant to just make women hard. And guys, if you're into that, I know I am, but it's not practical, and that's where I get turned off. That's a little bit. Marvel body is bimbo body. That body is useless. It's only for looking good. Pattinson, the Batman, that's a Batman that can fight. That's a body for punching and taking punches. If you punched Thor in real life, he'd fucking cry because that rib cage is probably made of styrofoam. That chin is glass. That liver is soft.
It's like that thing with Jason Momoa where, like, you know, he's, like, done with filming, he, like, gets a bit of, like, you know, war retention or whatever. Like, he puts on a little bit of weight, and everyone's like, Jason Momoa got fat, even though it's just, no, he just doesn't have the body that he would, like,
he
train
drank
himself for
water.
And suffer
Aquaman
and
actually
suffer
drank
for.
some water.
Yeah, he doesn't have that body that he suffers for over, like, the course of, like, a year of filming or something.
Exactly. I mean, that's the reason why Chris Evans quit Captain America. He had to turn the money away. He goes, dude, it's fucking miserable. It's fucking miserable. It's depressing. They're on fucking steroids. They're dehydrated. They're on this strict sleep schedule. It's not practical. Same with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. He would
I want Chris Evans to tuck me in bed.
What's that?
I want Chris Evans to tuck me into bed.
Same.
And just say,
Same. He's
"Good
cute.
night, Val."
I love him. with that sweater he wears and Knives Out.
Yeah.
Ooh, for the buys. For the buys.
Good night. I just want to say good night, Chris, and he'll be like, good night, Val.
Good night.
Yeah.
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 He would do it because that's Chris Evans. Oh,
I'm gonna say,
what a
back to the
dreamboat.
film. Right, no, totally. Back to the film.
Back to the Batman. Back to pale goth BF. Robert Pattinson.
I was on a point about like how like Batman, him and Gordon. No one outshines each other where they should be shining. Is
Yes.
what I mean. It never felt like anyone was really trying to step on anyone's
Again,
toes,
and even the Riddler too, in that scene when they're in Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, no, that was great. And Batman's just there, just shocked. He is taken aback. And he's
Batman
like...
may as well be wallpaper in that scene.
Batman is like, you think I'm helping you? It's really cool because he doesn't break the character. He doesn't break the facade of Batman. In fact, all of the fucking humor from this comes from that point, that pause that he has before, like, you know, he actually reacts to something where you know he is befuddled in the moment. When Penguin's like, oh, a rat with wings? Like a bat? But then he's like, no, fuck you.
Yes, and he laughs at him. He fucking laughs in their faces. That Penguin is based. I love him. He's so underestimated by everyone. And he just clowns on everyone. That's the reason why I don't want a Joker. This Penguin does the job just fine. All right? I love him. He's a psycho. He's crazy. He's driving through the highway. He's blowing up cars.
I did like him the instant
because
we met him.
He's so dedicated to the job. I was a bit distracted by the fat suit in the first meeting.
No, that's fair. I didn't even know who it was, is the thing. I think I heard who it was.
No, that's one of the things that I knew about I knew Colin Farrell was the Penguin because they did a cast photo that I saw and I went, wait, who's Colin Farrell playing? And as soon as he showed up, I went, they want a bullseye Penguin, don't they? Okay, let's go. And people were referring kids who were born like 5 years ago who are listening to this podcast. He played Bullseye in the freaking Ben Affleck Daredevil, which is a highly underrated film. It's garbage, but it's highly underrated entertainment.
I was talking to a bunch of my bloody like workmates and everything about that, and we were all like, talking about superhero movies, new ones, old ones, and I went, I think Daredevil's actually pretty
It's
fun.
a pretty sick film.
And they're all like, yeah, Daredevil's fucking cool when he's fighting Elektra in the playground.
It's stupid, it's silly, but fuck. Like, for that time period, if you do that today, fuck off.
Kingpin and shit. Kingpin was like a big fucking, like, stacked
Clark
ass
Douglas,
motherfucker.
right? Fucking sick.
Yeah. He was huge. It was great. And that scene with, like, the sprinkler turns on. I like the sprinkler scene.
I do too. I like, again, for that time period, when...
And then he, like, looks down on him, and he says, "You gonna tell everyone in prison a blind man broke your legs?"
Yeah. It was sick. It was sick.
It was. It was
I do like the Netflix Daredevil better. I think that's one of the greatest TV series ever fucking made.
I haven't watched
But
it.
I got a special place in my heart for Batman Daredevil. Such a Batman Daredevil. Batfleck Daredevil.
Sorry, for a long time, I've just been that guy. Like, for a while now, I've been that guy who was like, nah, I don't fucking care about Marvel.
That's fine. At this point, Val, don't even bother caring.
I know.
The ship has sailed.
I start.
A lot of
hating-
us are jumping
no.
off.
I don't actually. No, I don't hate things. I'm not like 18 anymore. I don't just hate things as I see them. I just either don't care or I do care, and I'll just put the appropriate amount of like attention into it. Basically, like I watched all the mainline Marvel movies at this point. I think is Ant-Man mainline.
Yes.
Ant-Man's important.
Yes. Val, they're all important, unfortunately.
They're all important. That can't be.
I know, it's awful. Except for the Eternals. There's no fucking way.
Okay, but the scene where the Riddler just genuinely like, no, we're friends. Like all those letters I've been sending you. Oh, those weirdly friendly letters. I loved seeing what the letters were.
Yes, it was a nice little snack, a little prize for every half hour of that film that you survived through. You got a little treat to keep you on and not get bored.
I was like, wait a minute, those cards are meant to be as friendly as they seem, maybe?
They're greeting cards. I mean, do you send a greeting card to your enemy, Val?
No.
Exactly. This podcast brought to you by Hallmark. Dude, Hallmark should have got a sponsorship.
Sorry, one thing that did bother me about the film, but I didn't even dislike it, is the part where they go more into Catwoman's segment, in which they are taking down Falcone. Now, I know it was an important bit because, as it turns out, Falcone is the rat with wings, and that's cool. But I was like, now understanding it, I was the entire time, where's the Riddler? What's the Riddler doing? But then, as it turns out, no, Catwoman's thing coincides with this, ergo, when they get Falcone out, which, as we find out, he's been holed up in 40 Below for, like, this entire thing, after the events at the hall for the mayor's funeral.
Yes.
Like, he's been in there the entire time at that point. I realize that now, but I remember thinking to myself in the pictures, this feels like they've dedicated too long to this. Where the hell's the Riddler? What's the Riddler doing? But then he's like, well, I couldn't get him out. That's not my strength. I needed to get you to get him out, and you did. And that was just so great.
He used Batman. It's awesome.
I felt like the I Am Vengeance bit at the end with the fringe terrorists or whatever that the Riddler riled up, basically. I did think that was a bit ham-fisted. I was like, I already understood the parallels. Maybe you needed to say it to Batman's face, because he is kind of a dense motherfucker.
He is. That's why I love him. I like that this Batman gets a little bit confused sometimes. Again, he's not infallible. He's human.
That is like all of the comedy in the film. That's like the entire crux of the comedy, I feel. Batman being mildly confused, but then having to like keep on this straight face.
Yes.
As if like he understands everything. You can hear it in his voice, like slight hesitation.
Yeah, but it's wonderful. This film, I like one thing I forgot to mention, like, because we talked about his relationship with the police. It's the fact that they treat him like a fucking cryptid. He just walks, and it's like, oh my god, I just saw Bigfoot.
Yeah, my friend, it confused me. He when we were going home, we were driving. It's like, I never even thought of the back signal as like a warning. It's like, yeah, of course it is. That's the entire point. Everyone knows.
Every piece of the buffalo, dude. Not just a signal, it's a warning.
Villains beware, civilians be at ease. The Batman is fucking on patrol and you don't know where the hell he is. They did that really well.
They did
first
that
shot
amazing.
where the kid drops the spray paint can, looks into the dark, looks up at the sky, looks into the dark, and he's like,
and that's
friends
the
come
that's the perfect time to mention Michael Giacchino's score. I have always been a Giacchino fan, but oh my gosh, did Giacchino really put his Giacussi into this one? My God, this soundtrack is incredible. That's another one that deserves an Oscar. There's intensity to that. Giacchino is helping you sell this Batman with the sound design, where they're really making you terrified.
I'm trying to find what was the song they kept playing?
Are you talking about the Nirvana music?
Yes, I thought it was Nirvana. I haven't listened to Nirvana in ages.
That's the stuff from like that's where I get a little bit taken out of the experience.
Yeah, no,
but if any Batman was gonna have it, yeah, this one.
Yeah, like I said, I really just this might not. I really like this film. I don't think it's perfect.
No,
I thought it was
not
good.
Perfect. I love it though.
It is the Batman franchise that I think I'm going to love if they genuinely have him grow.
Yes. Like
we keep on saying. This is a movie that I feel like is going to build upon itself sequel after sequel. I want to see Robert Pattinson. I was trying to think what you call him. Robert Pattinson.
I call him the Pat Man.
I want to see the Pat Man genuinely grow as not only a Batman, but I want to see that arsenal grow. I want to see the stakes rise. I want that ESRB rating to go up, Ivan, with each movie. I kind of think that
with the video game rating.
Wait, is it a different thing? Is ESRB just not like the same thing everywhere? I've never thought
maybe
about
in the UK, but no, the major motion film fucking association has a completely different rating system than the ESRB. I think the E in SRB stands for electronics.
Entertainment software rating.
Okay, I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend like I know what the fuck it is, but I know it's definitely not the same thing as the film rating system.
Fair enough.
Because the film rating system's fucking weird.
Let's see.
Because now you can just hide fucks wherever you want now.
It's just a film rating system. I want that film rating system to go up with each movie.
Yeah, I agree. I want an R-rated Batman film. Why can't we have an R-rated Batman film?
I would love a different cut of the film that was maybe a bit more gory. Just
a little bit. I wasn't too concerned about the gore. I was more concerned about just the American film rating system. Just the intensity can get your rating up. And I'm like, give me a little more intensity with that R rating.
What was it rated where you are? It's a 15.
PG-13.
Huh. Okay,
means 13 years old, or you get to have parental guidance. Like, basically, you're 13 years old, you can go by yourself. If you're under 13, you gotta have a parent with you to guide you through what's going on. You need your parents to tell you why the billionaires should be protected. Why it's wrong to kill the wealthy, even though they're killing the civilians.
I won't get into this, but... I won't get... No, Ivan, I am Batman. You are Catwoman. These old fucks need to pay, Val. I usually just look at you in silence.
My BDSM Catwoman. See, exactly.
I just look at you in silence and move on to what I feel is important.
No, you keep looking. You don't get to run away from this, Bruce.
Fuck.
God, they're gonna start calling me the woke man.
Don't you know? I'm based man.
Woke man, I'm based man. But yeah, I think this is you think this is where we should wrap up?
No. We should, yeah, but I just want to say, I felt like this movie was going to be a bit more intense. It was intense, but I wanted it to be more intense. When I saw
because there were intense scenes.
I wanted the bits where he was like filling the mask with rat. I was like, okay, come on, you're gonna unlock the cage. The rats are gonna move up to his face, and then you're gonna cut it. At the very least, not even that. It's just, oh, this guy's gonna die now.
I'm trying to remember what film did. I think it was Prisoners. But there was a movie where they put a rat with a bucket on someone's fucking chest, and they lit the bottom of the bucket on fire to scare the rat.
Oh yeah, and yeah.
So I'm like, if you can do that there, you can do it here.
I felt like with the red that they use here especially, they used a big red font for the Batman's like advertising here.
What's that?
The font, like, for the movies and everything, the Batman, the title, it's all, like, in red. It's, like, stained. It's got, like, Batman's symbol.
It was huge.
Like,
I love that. I love big titles.
It's really fucking cool. And, like, the tiny
big silent red titles was sick.
And I was sat there and I was like, when that trailer first came out, because I was so hyped for that trailer, I thought this was gonna be a really brutal film. The way they cut the trailer
that kind of that's like, I mean, if we were talking about the basics of marketing, This film definitely marketed itself like an R-rated film would.
It did, yeah. And I was like, fuck, I'm so ready for this. But, like I said, again, it isn't a bad film, but I am more excited for sequels and the raising of stakes and really leaning into that Batman shit. I'm looking forward to it. Like, even though I complained earlier about Pig and Frog being in Beware the Batman, I would love to see them in this.
I can say, and guess what? We probably will. Even though I am excited for sequels, I'm really not excited for the spin-offs on HBO Max.
Well, they're making spin-offs of this?
They are developing a Catwoman one, and they're developing a Gotham PD one. I don't give a fuck about the police. That's what we did. We were beating up the police in this film. Why do we give a fuck? We want to focus on them.
No, did you watch Gotham?
I did not. I saw the first few episodes. It didn't hold my interest.
That's right. I didn't watch it either, but my mum freaking loved it when she found out about it.
People seem to really like it.
Yeah. Do you know how that ended?
I'm going to assume with a young Batman.
Yes, it did.
Because that's how they always go. Just like Smallville.
It surprised me as it went on because I'd hear things like, oh yeah, Bruce Wayne's doing shit. Oh, Bruce Wayne is like doing his Batman shit right now. I'm like, how old's the actor? What's he look like?
I remember he was a little boy when it started.
Yeah, he was. He was like, I don't know, 14 or something. I don't know.
He was younger than that, but
something like that.
But besides the point, what I wanted to get to is the fact that...
That's what I'm saying. What's the point in making a Gotham PD show?
Well, the point is money in HBO Max subscriptions. But what I don't want, I just don't want it. Don't dilute this experience. Keep it in the films.
Like Marvel.
But funny enough, you talk about how you want Pig Malin. I bet you if they want to get people interested in these spin-offs, one of them's got to have Pig Malin in it.
I would say the Gotham PD one because, I don't know, situations
because he's the more grounded one.
He makes weird zombie people in the comics.
Well, he's the most, like, deranged. I think of all Batman's villains, he is the most deranged. And you can ground him and still keep that intensity on his derangement.
You could have, like, a whole Gotham PD episode where they're all having a freaking hold up in the police station where Pig's weird zombie people are fucking attacking or something like that.
Again, you can explain the zombies, like, he just drugged them, he got them all on bath salts.
Yeah, you could, like, do, like, a series, you could do an entire season based on that concept,
You can maintain his threat and still ground him greatly.
Actually, wouldn't that be cool? That would actually be really cool if they did that with a show of that sort. I don't know if they'd do it.
Honestly, that's the only way, that's the only reason for me that you could justify a Gotham PD. If you were gonna make these guys fight fucking Pig Malin with his zombie bath-salted homeless people.
For an entire fucking season or something.
Just attacking the PD like a bunch of zombies. Like,
that would be sick. Like 2 seasons in or something, like 3rd season comes up, and it's like, this season is basically going to be The Walking Dead, where Pig Malin is like doing all this shit.
Just like villains that are just banging their heads on the ceilings where they're just not quite enough to justify Batman's presence. But they're still extremely threatening. They're still very radical and different. Like give me interesting shit like that. But what I want a sequel, I mean, give me, if we can't have Mr. Freeze, let's say no Mr. Freeze, what do you think would be the ideal sequel? Like, chamber all the frozen Gotham stuff away. No, the flooding has been fixed. What's next?
If you want more of Bruce and exploring him, which I feel like we've basically got. So I guess this would be more like a
Yeah, you know what? That's another thing we did not address. The fact that of all the Batman films, this one really explores the Wayne and the Arkham families and their connections to the Mafia. And we forgot about that.
Do you prefer fucked up Wayne family where, like, you know, I have an idea what you prefer. Do you prefer corrupted Thomas Wayne?
I prefer complicated Thomas Wayne, where which is what this film does. That's why I like it. Where it's like, he was a good man, but man, he made some really bad fucking decisions. Because
like
this is a movie that really brings this is a Gotham. This Gotham brings out the fucking worst in people to survive. Even a billionaire like Thomas Wayne had to make some survival decisions. And if that's the case, combine Talon with Hush and give me the Court of Owls.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. Hush. I was literally going to say Hush if you want to explore him more.
Combine Hush with the Court of Owls. That's what I want.
I don't, with the Court of Owls. Court of Owls is cool as hell.
They are
like I read that comic. That was such a, that's such a good fucking
That's my
comic.
favorite. That's Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo run. That's one of my all-time favorite comics, is the Court of Owls.
Is that the one that ended? That's the one that ended with Last Night on Earth, right?
I'm trying to. It's been such a long time since I read them, and they kind of warrant a reread. It starts with Court of Owls.
I read Last Night on Earth when it came out.
It was Court of Owls, and then I think it goes to 0 Year. Which, another thing, they talk about how Long Halloween was an influence. 0 Year is a huge influence on this one, where you have a Riddler who begins a freaking turn Gotham into a freaking post-apocalyptic Gotham. That's where I thought we were going. Like, if we're not getting a Frozen Gotham, let's get a freaking Mad Max Gotham. Not the one that Zack Snyder was trying to do in Batman v Superman. Don't give me the sand wasteland. Give me with a little bit of overgrowth and the animals in the zoo have escaped, and Batman's shirt is sleeveless on a motorcycle. Give me that. If you're not gonna give me Frozen Hell Gotham, and give me that with the Court of Owls.
A question that just occurred to me. How would you feel if the next film, it isn't Riddler and Joker, it's a new villain, if you do get Mr. Freeze, but then again Joker shows up near the end of the film and somehow talks to Mr. Freeze, or gets in contact with Mr. Freeze, in, not as big a way as they tried to.
I don't
want
to see the Joker again. I just want the Joker to be this spectrum. Now that we've seen him in this movie, now we can always make the subtextual assumption that whenever these villains go to Arkham, they're going to encounter the Joker, and the Joker is going to give them ideas.
And then maybe it'll lead up to Long Halloween.
But this film was Long Halloween.
Yeah, no, it drew inspiration off Long Halloween.
No, this was Long Halloween, besides the fact that Harvey Dent wasn't in it, which was a shame.
True. Would that be cool, though, if they did continue this as now the cemented Batman franchise for 4-5 movies or something, somehow? I don't know. Because we've already said we don't really want crossovers, universe stuff. Do we?
Nope.
Do you? I don't.
I don't.
I think it'd be cool if maybe it was building up that roster in Arkham, and then the Arkham shit happens. Like you said.
If you're going to give me the Joker, I never want that fucker to leave Arkham. I want a Joker who runs Arkham. That's his domain.
Yes.
Where you have to go to him there. Again, I draw from the Scott Snyder, the Death of the Family arc, where Joker literally turns Arkham into a medieval castle. And he's got all the freaking Arkham staff ballroom dancing in Batman uniforms on electrified plates. And he just runs the place. Give me that. That's your R. That when we finally get our R-rated Batman film, give me Death of the Family.
Is this where he cuts off his face?
That's where. Oh, that's where he cut. His face has already been cut off. But now he's wearing it again.
Yes. No, he did that.
That's the sickest, scariest Joker ever. I loved it.
Yeah, I remember showing that to my mate, and he was like, "Yo, that's actually scary."
But yeah, I want. Let's get into the mythos now of Gotham. If you want to keep things within the dark.
This is the Ivan. It's the Batman episode. It's the Batman episode.
It is.
Let's just go. For it.
We still gotta wrap up in 10 minutes. But yeah, that's what we're talking about. Now we're trying to get our ideal Batman. So this is what we want, Val. We want to combine Hush with Talon, and we want the Court of Owls, because this is gonna give us everything that we want. We want a destroyed Gotham. We want a mythic Gotham. We want this threat that Batman is still not prepared for. I am the shadows, and the Court of Owls go, you're the shadows? You're the shadows? No. We are in the shadows. We are in the shadows. And then you got Hush, who's connected to the fucked up legacy of the Waynes and the Arkhams.
The Waynes are a part of the Court of Owls.
Yes, I do believe they have connections.
Yeah, but then they are basically removed, and that's why the great-grandfather goes
because
crazy.
Talon is a possibly estranged brother of Bruce's. I don't recall if they ever confirmed if he really was his brother or not, but they really play up the fact that he might be a Wayne. So again, that's why I go with Hush, because Hush makes himself look like a Wayne. So you can combine those elements. I like where we're going with here. But is there anything else we need?
Hush would be, I think, an actual friend of Bruce's, or someone that wants to reconnect with Bruce, but because he is Batman, he doesn't really care unless he is growing from the former movie, and maybe this version of Hush maybe comes off as a bit more pathetic or something. Maybe he needs help, and Bruce is trying to, like, learn from that, and he's like, not only Batman has to be, like, this better person and save people, Bruce Wayne can too. So he tries to help Hush, but then, over the course of the film, Hush becomes maybe obsessed with Bruce, his lifestyle, in some way.
Batman somehow creates Hush in a way, is where you're going.
Yeah.
So what you're doing here, you're doing Harvey Dent.
Bruce Wayne should create Hush, actually.
I agree. But I think he's already been created. I feel like Hush is just another piece of the legacy, another piece that Batman has to pick up from his father's legacy, Sins of the Father. But the one you just described, that's Harvey Dent. Again, a missed opportunity, because in Long Halloween, spoilers, the real true Long Halloween, Harvey Dent is the killer.
Harvey Dent will be introduced into the next one. You think
so?
Yeah,
but
because
I would like a Harvey Dent that Batman or Bruce Wayne accidentally creates. I like that. But yeah, now being said, we have to wrap up soon. Who's your dream cast for Hush?
My dream cast? Oh, God. Oh, man.
Because I said, like, if we did Mr. Freeze, I want Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston would be cool.
Or even Giancarlo Esposito. That would also be sick. But give me Hush.
Hush.
Even Giancarlo Esposito would be a sick Hush.
It would need to be someone Robert Pattinson-esque.
Someone as creepy and gothic as him, I agree. So, I have an idea in my head.
Go on.
Did you play the Arkham Asylum games, Val? Yes, you did. Did you ever do the Hush missions?
Yeah, in Arkham
In Arkham
Knight?
City as well, where he's got the voice box. He's really good at mimicking voices. Hush is a really good voice actor. He's really good at mimicking people.
Oh, Ivan, are you saying me? Are you saying me?
No, don't, you narcissist. I'm saying if you want someone who could really play with his voice and really mimic people and be an actor and be a creepy little goth boy and play age appropriately with Robert Pattinson and have a relationship with Bruce, I'm thinking Bill Hader.
As in Solid Snake, obviously.
No, that's David Hader. I'm talking about Bill Hader.
I was like,
Barry on HBO or Stefan on Saturday Night Live, if you still watch that shit.
Isn't he the cop from bloody Superbad?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Bill Hader could be scary.
I'm looking at him, and I'm already getting across that vibe of, like, you know, I could look at him in one kind of way and be like, yeah, you're someone that needs help. But I also see him some other shops that's like, oh yeah, no, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Imagine him with the eye makeup as well and the bandages. And he's got that deep low voice too, and he can talk to Batman. He can out-growl Batman.
It does feel like they want to go for very different, like, you know, off-the-wall kind of casting, I think, for these characters, actually, especially.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, because, like, it really did come out of nowhere when it was like, Robert Pattinson, that's right, the guy from Twilight, is the next Batman. And everyone was like...
that's, for mainstream audiences, yes, but anyone in the cinephilic scene, we were like, that's the guy from Lighthouse and Good Time. And he was already a proven actor.
I was fine with Robert Pattinson, but everyone I know... Not everyone I know, because some people have gone to see the film, some people have been like, oh, I don't want to see it. Robert Pattinson doesn't feel like he'd be a good Batman to me. I'm like, I don't know, give him a chance. When it all came out, I was like, give the man a chance. He's got the jawline for it. But, you know, everyone was like, eh. I like him. I like him as Batman and shit. That's the point.
Mm-hmm. But I do believe our train is connecting to a new station.
I liked Batman, so did you. Really looking forward to the next one.
Exactly. And I'm sure the audience is looking forward to us talking about anime again next week. We'll catch up again with My Hero Academia next week. We'll have 2 issues and a Vigilantes to talk about next week.
Oh, yeah. Ranking King?
Not yet. 2 more episodes, and then we will talk about it, because, I mean, let's get our anime in for this week, all right? This week's episode was sick, right?
We gotta get Oh, no. It was. No. It was
went insano
so
mode.
Freaking good. It did. But I feel like that's the last bit we're gonna get of, like, some pretty, like, out there, off the wall shit. You know?
You say that, but man, this anime's been surprising us. But yeah, we will, in about 2 or 3 weeks, we will finally have the big Ranking of Kings discussion. Because it's worth talking about. Because this week definitely proved, yes, as if it wasn't already obvious, this is a greatest of all time anime.
We gotta get Freddy, don't we? He wants to be there.
We gotta get Freddy.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, Freddy.
Gotta
The
get
Freddy retrieval arc begin as we depart, audience. The Freddy retrieval arc begins. Who's that in the shadows? In the other car, Val. Who's that in the other car over there?
I don't know. Who is? You tell me.
Why are the lights turning off? Dr. Octopus.
Mind the gap as you exit our podcast safely. Rebuild of JoyCast is hosted by Ivan LeRoy and Valentine Stokes. LeRoy's written and directed works can be found on the JoyRide Entertainment YouTube channel and the soon-to-be-released original web manga, PARAMEDIC. Val's dulcet tones can be heard in many of your favorite anime and web series, such as RWBY, Death Battle, Tribe 9, Lackadaisy Cats, and more. This episode was edited by Steena Carey, with YouTube version edited by Cody Rock. Music provided by Lofi Geek. Intro and outro narration by Steena Carey. Outro music composed by Michael Pejovich. Logo and visuals designed by Ivan LeRoy. Rebuild of JoyCast is produced by JoyRide Entertainment and Rock Voice Productions LLC, and made possible thanks to Patreon donations from generous listeners like you. This month's highest tiered Patreon producers are Mr. Host, Austin, Hairo Medina, and Gooner Bear. If you would like your name shouted out at the end of each podcast, an invite to our private Discord to interact with fans, cast and crew, or early access to all of our content, be sure to check out JoyRide Entertainment's Patreon. Links provided in the description. Thank you for keeping JoyRide's engine burning.